Jeffrey Dahmer, the silence behind apartment 213. There are killers who chase, killers who hunt, and then there was Jeffrey Dahmer, a man who didn't look like a monster. He wore glasses, spoke softly, avoided eye contact, but behind the door of apartment 213 in Milwaukee, there was something rotting. In July 1991, police officers opened his refrigerator. Inside were human remains, skulls in drawers, Polaroid photos of dismembered bodies, chemical barrels filled with acid. Neighbors had complained about the smell for months. No one imagined the truth. This is the story of one of America's most disturbing serial killers. Not just how he killed, but why. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His father was a chemist. His mother struggled emotionally and reportedly battled depression. From a young age, Dahmer was detached. He didn't connect with other children. He preferred being alone. When he was 10 years old, he began collecting dead animals and roadkill, small creatures from the woods. He dissected them, not out of curiosity alone, but fascination. Bones interested him. What was inside interested him. His father once showed him how to bleach animal bones using chemicals. It would not be the last time Dahmer used chemistry. In school, he became known as strange, pulling pranks, pretending to have seizures, making odd noises in hallways. Classmates laughed. Teachers ignored it. No one saw danger. They saw awkwardness. In 1978, just weeks after high school graduation, Dahmer picked up a hitchhiker named Stephen Hicks. They drank beer together at Dahmer's family home. When Hicks tried to leave, Dahmer felt something overwhelming, abandonment. He later said he didn't want him to go, so he picked up a 10-pound dumbbell and struck him from behind. Hicks died. Dahmer dismembered the body in the basement, scattered the remains in the woods. Then he went on with life. For nearly 9 years, there were no known murders. But the fantasies grew stronger, darker, more specific. In 1987, the killing started again. This time in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, began targeting young men. Often from gay bars or malls, he offered them money for photos, for company, for a drink. He drugged them, and when they lost consciousness, he strangled them. But what made Dahmer different from other killers was what happened after. He didn't just kill, he stayed. He posed bodies for photographs. He slept beside them. He tried to preserve them. He later confessed he didn't want his victims to leave. He wanted them to stay forever.
Yourself. I have to stop this. I must stop doing this.
Yes.
When it was going on,
After the second time, it seemed like the compulsion to do it was too strong, and I didn't even try to stop it after that. But before the second time, things had been building up gradually, going to bookstores, going to the bars, the gay bars, bath clubs. When that wasn't enough, buying sleeping pills and using it on various guys in the bath clubs. It just escalated slowly but surely. And after the second time, which was not planned, it was out of control. It felt like it was out of control.
By 1990, Dahmer's behavior escalated. He wasn't satisfied with murder alone. He began conducting horrifying experiments. He drilled holes into victims' skulls, injected acid and boiling water into their brains. He believed he could create a zombie, someone alive, but permanently submissive. None survived. His apartment became a chamber of horror. Skulls were kept as trophies. Photos were organized. A 57-gallon drum filled with acid dissolved bodies in the bedroom, and still, no one stopped him. Even when a bleeding teenager once escaped and police returned him to Dahmer, believing it was just a domestic dispute. It was one of the most tragic failures in police history. July 22, 1991. A man named Tracy Edwards escaped Dahmer's apartment. He flagged down police, said a man had tried to kill him. Officers escorted him back to apartment 213. They entered. At first, nothing seemed unusual, until one officer opened a drawer. Inside were Polaroids, photos of dismembered human bodies. Realizing what they had walked into, officers attempted to arrest Dahmer. He resisted briefly, but it was over. Inside the apartment, they found 11 human skulls, human hearts in the refrigerator, preserved body parts, chemicals, tools. The smell neighbors complained about? It was death.
Jeffrey Dahmer's murderous orgy is over. Throughout the trial that found him sane, grief-stricken families of the 15 men and boys Dahmer killed and mutilated held their peace. But today, before the sentencing, they had their day in court.
Did you ever stop to think that this is someone's brother, nephew, uncle, cousin, grandson, or just someone's friend?
I hope you can deal with what you've done. I'm trying hard to. You almost destroyed me, but I refuse to let you destroy me. I will carry on.
He destroyed the baby of the family, and I hope you go to hell.
Only the sister of Errol Lindsay was unable to contain her rage.
I don't want to ever see my mother have to go through this again.
After a brief recess, Dahmer addressed the court for the first time.
I didn't ever want freedom. Frankly, I wanted death for myself. This was a case to tell the world that I did what I did not for reasons of hate. I hated no one. I knew I was sick or evil or both. Now I believe I was sick.
In 1992, Dahmer was charged with 15 counts of murder. He pleaded guilty, but insane. The jury disagreed. He was found legally sane, sentenced to 15 life terms, 957 years in prison. In court, he spoke calmly, emotionless. He apologized to victims' families, but nothing could undo the horror. Dahmer was sent to Columbia Correctional Institution. In 1994, he was beaten to death by a fellow inmate. He died at age 34. No dramatic final words, no long confession, just silence. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't look like a monster. That's what made him terrifying. He blended in. He smiled politely. He held doors open. And behind closed doors, he destroyed lives. 17 young men, 17 families, 17 futures erased. Monsters don't always hide in the dark. Sometimes they live next door.